Welcome back to AM Northwest. Our next guest went to Italy and discovered the secret to better salads. Here to share one of your new favorite recipes from the September-October issue of Christopher Kimball's Milk Street magazine, we welcome back Editorial Director J.M. Hirsch. J.M., how's it going?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
You bet. So tell me about your trip to Italy and what you learned when it comes to the secret of salads.
So, we all love a robust salad.
Yeah.
And we want lots of flavor, lots of like meaty savoriness, right? But that doesn't mean you have to have meat. So I was in this little town called Udine, which is in the far northern regions of Italy. And it was in this little restaurant where they took cauliflower and they cut it up into little florets like this. And they dust it with Parmesan cheese and breadcrumbs and roast them. Whoops, I'm throwing my cauliflower all over the place. And they roast them and they turn them into essentially savory croutons. And I'm telling you, they're so delicious. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to toss it with a kale salad. So all I've got here is a head of cauliflower that I've cut up into 1-inch florets. And I've doused it with some olive oil, sprinkle some salt in there, get some pepper in there. And we want lots of well-seasoned cauliflower as the base here. Now we're going to just toss it lightly. And then the magic ingredient, of course, we're in northern Italy.
Oh, yes,
Parmesan cheese.
Yes.
Yeah. So grab yourself a chunk of Parmesan, cut it up into smaller bits, throw it in the food processor. That's the easiest and fastest way to do it.
That's the way to go.
Yeah, grate it up, and that's it. Toss this, and then get some fine breadcrumbs and sprinkle some of that on. There we go. And toss it again. And this is the magic ingredient.
I would normally say I'm not a cauliflower fan, but now you might have just made me one.
Cheesy, bready, crispy cauliflower?
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, when you put these on a parchment-lined baking sheet, put them in a nice, even layer, but don't waste this stuff. Get it on there. That's going to help turn it nice and crispy. So they have a dish in northern Italy called frico. And that's where you take something and you coat it with cheese and then you roast it until it becomes crispy. And that's exactly what we're doing here.
Okay.
Now, you're going to throw this in the oven for about 15 or 20 minutes at 450 degrees.
Oh, okay.
Then you're going to take it out.
450 seems really high.
We're going to crisp them. We're going to crisp that cheese. We're going to cook the cauliflower until it's nice and tender on the inside but crisp outside.
Okay.
You're going to flip it so we get nice even browning. And then we're going to take some nuts. Now, our recipe calls for hazelnuts, but I couldn't find them. So I'm using cashews. Instead, you could use almonds, you could use peanuts, use whatever you like. Put this back in the oven for about another 8 to 10 minutes until it's nice and evenly browned.
Okay.
Now, while that cooks, no need to wipe out your bowl. Take the same bowl. Take a thinly sliced red onion. Put that in. And we're going to take about a 1/4 cup of lemon juice. Now, the lemon juice is going to both tenderize and tame the raw onion. So you don't have to worry about kind of that bite that you get from a raw onion. The lemon juice is going to take care of that for you. You can also throw in just a little bit of kosher salt. And now you would normally let this sit for about 10 minutes while your cauliflower is cooking.
Okay.
But we're going to jump ahead.
Sure.
And we've got here some kale. Now, if you don't like kale, you could use broccoli. You could use any kind of hearty green that you want.
Sure.
And all I've done was cut out the stems and then cut the leaves into thin ribbons, okay?
Oh, gotcha.
Now, raw kale can be a little robust, shall we say, a little tough. But what we're doing here is we're going to tenderize it 2 ways. And the first way is we're going to mix it with our lemon juice. The acidity of the lemon juice is going to tenderize the kale so that it's nice and easy and delicious and wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we're also, of course, going to add some more Parmesan because Parmesan makes everything better.
Absolutely.
Okay. And you're going to toss this. Now, when your cauliflower is ready, turn my back to you just ever so briefly. And you're going to pull it out of the oven, and it's going to look gorgeous and brown and crunchy.
Yeah.
I'm going to try not to burn myself here. And we're going to just scoop it right in. Now, this is the second step of tenderizing our kale because the heat of the cauliflower and the nuts is going to further tenderize it. and kind of mellow it a little bit. So you're going to put on as much as you want. Look at how crispy and brown that is.
That looks really good.
So yummy. And then set that aside for a moment. Take some tongs, and we're just going to work it in. And the more you work the kale, actually, you don't want to crush your cauliflower, but the more you work the kale, the more tender it's going to be.
Sure.
So actually, before you put the cauliflower in, if you really want tender kale, if like the robustness of kale does bother you, you could actually take your hands and kind of mash it a little bit. That's called massaging it.
Okay.
And it really does a wonderful job of tenderizing it. And that's it. That's our salad.
Wow.
It's so wonderful. We have these beautiful brown, crispy, savory, cheesy, bready croutons. We've got some nice, tangy onions, and the kale is delicious and green and fresh. And that is our wonderful cauliflower crouton salad.
Yeah, so the secret to a better salad basically is using cauliflower as a kind of new age crouton.
Yeah, because it's giving you a vegetable, which is creamy when it's cooked at that high of a temperature. You know, the interior of the cauliflower turns nice and creamy, but the exterior is getting nice and crunchy and brown and crisp, and you get that savoriness from the Parmesan, and you've got that breadiness from the breadcrumbs. It's a really wonderful combination.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we're going to put the recipe on our website, but also we want to have you check out the September-October issue of Christopher Kimball's Milk Street Magazine. J.M., thank you so much. Great to see you again.
Thank you so much.
All right, we'll be right back with more AM Northwest.